In 1956, the U.S. government burned his books. In 1957, he died in prison. But what if everything he said was true? There is no such thing as freedom without truth. Those were the words of Wilhelm Reich. But what happens when a man speaks too much truth? Truth about the mind, the body, and the universe itself? He was once a rising star in Freud's inner circle. Then, they erased him. This is the story of Wilhelm Reich, the buried father of psychology, a scientist buried by history, whose ideas still shape our lives, even if we don't realize it. Wilhelm Reich was born in 1897 in a collapsing empire. He lost his mother to suicide. At 13, he saw war, hunger, exile. But what he wanted most was to understand human suffering. By his 20s, he joined Freud's psychoanalytic society. But Reich was never meant to follow. He was meant to question. While Freud studied dreams and the unconscious, Reich studied the body. He believed trauma didn't just live in the mind, it lived in the muscles, in the breath, in the way we hold ourselves, and the way we collapse. He called it emotional armor, invisible tension, shaped by pain, held in place by fear. He developed a new form of therapy, one that worked through breath, voice, touch, and movement. He called it vegetotherapy. Today we call it somatic psychology, trauma healing, body work. He was decades ahead, but still unknown, because Reich didn't stop with the body. He went further. He believed there was a life force flowing through all living things, a cosmic current, a vital energy. He called it Orgone. He built devices to collect and focus it. He treated patients. He studied the weather. He tried to heal. Then, he saw something. Above. He began documenting strange objects in the sky, unidentified, silent, drawn to his experiments. In his journals, he described energy battles in the atmosphere. He sent reports to Washington. They ignored him, until they didn't. In 1956, authorities ordered 6 tons of his books and research destroyed. In 1957, Reich died in a U.S. prison, not for harming anyone, not for lying, but for thinking differently. One of his books would spark Nazi persecution. They banned it. Years later, the Americans burned it. And still, almost no one remembers his name. But his ideas are still here, in therapy rooms, in trauma studies, in the silent tension, held in millions of bodies. You can still feel him, in every breath that breaks under pressure, in every body that shakes when no one's watching, in every silence. That's actually a scream. You can hear him. In every therapist who works through the body, in every activist who fights for the freedom to feel, in every child who dares to express what others silence. He warned us, the repression of emotion leads to the repression of society. When the body is controlled, so is the soul. But this story was never just about one man. It's about what they fear most, that we might feel again, that we might heal, that we might remember. He knew. The path to truth doesn't run through logic alone. It runs through breath, through sensation, through pain. They tried to burn that truth. They tried to bury it. But it's still here, underneath our habits, beneath the armor, waiting. This channel exists to explore the man, the mission, and the message they tried to destroy. His name was Wilhelm Reich, and this is just the beginning, because truth doesn't die in flames, and silence is not the end. What was erased returns. What was forgotten remembers. And what was buried will rise again. If this moved you, subscribe and help bring buried knowledge back to the surface. Leave a comment and let others know they're not alone, because the more we speak, the harder it is to silence the truth.